On the stream now. We're live. I'm live with Mr. Erik Werlin from Los Angeles, California. And you got some view there. Okay, so I'm Nick Romick from RetroPixel Digital in Vancouver, BC, and this is Erik from RetroPixel Digital in Los Angeles. Yeah, we're gonna be chatting a little bit more about like what we're working on in the new Unreal Engine virtual production workflow and what we're playing around with. And I'll start off with the website. So, Erik, you can't see the website unless you stream
And take a
into.
look at it earlier today.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So this is it. It's kind of simple right now, but I'll just go over it real quick. I got RetroPixel Digital. We got home, about. We got a couple things here that we're working on, like who we are, our Patreon stuff. I'll go over in a sec. Some of the projects we're working on right now. We haven't mentioned anything about Darth Vader versus Master Chief. This is the first time anyone said anything official about Darth Vader versus Master Chief, but that is going to be episode 2, I believe, of the new series coming out, and I'll kind of go over that in the Patreon stuff. And then we've got some learning stuff here from VFX tutorials on our website, or sorry, YouTube. Articles about, some of the stuff we worked on, blah, blah, blah. And our community stuff. So Cookies for Breakfast is the name of this new kind of podcast video series thing that we're doing right now. And we've got a meetup group and a LinkedIn group for Virtual Production Vancouver, so that we can kind of like, reach out to the community. So that's the website in its entirety. So really, there's a little bit of stuff. If you guys want to take a look at it, it's retropixel.digital. There's no .com, .ca, nothing. It's just retropixel.digital. And then you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn and YouTube. So take a look
all
at
the
it.
social platforms.
Yeah, exactly. We'll update this video here. This is just something we whipped together with our virtual camera rig. But without further ado, let's get in here. So, Erik, what have you been working on lately?
So I've been really learning and working on really learning the ins and outs of Unreal Engine. I've ever since you've told me about the project and brought me on, and I think virtual production and like using Unreal Engine to do filmmaking and use as a tool is just so cool, and I really do believe that it's going to. I don't think it's going to completely replace on-set filming or on-location filming anytime in the next couple of years, but I definitely see down the line it being used more and more, starting in especially commercial work, but moving more into filmmaking. I mean, you saw the Lion King live action was done all in virtual production.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian, like a huge amount of that was done in using virtual production. So we already know that the application is usable and it's doable. And I definitely see the future of filmmaking heading in that direction and becoming a combination of virtual production and live action. And I want to be a part of that. And I just think it's so cool to, be part of kind of like a new emerging technology. And I've been in filmmaking for years. I've been on set, worked in post-production, compositing. That's my background. I love cameras and filmmaking. And I wasn't too familiar with Unreal Engine in terms of like using it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've really been just trying to learn as much as I can. I've been playing around with not only learning the interface, but also the lighting system. Because, you could have the coolest environment, the coolest textures, the coolest everything, but if your lighting isn't good and you can't see anything, there's no point.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the big thing, right? Because especially now with COVID, we got COVID-19, uh, you know, and it's causing some major issues for, smaller productions trying to get on and doing everything there. So we've actually, let me pull this up here actually. Yeah, so we created a Patreon. This is just kind of giving more information of what we've kind of been doing. Um, but we decided to come out with an episodic. There's 10 episodes here, uh, give or take. It's gonna probably change, but we've got all these ones here so that we have. It's gonna be, it was very difficult and challenging because like when we came up with Darth Vader versus Master Chief, we had everything all planned out so that we could have, Darth Vader was going to be cast by Daniel Cudmore, who did the Master Chief for the actual film, the Netflix, or it's on Netflix anyway, the Forward Unto Dawn. So that was awesome that he signed up and he was going to do it, but then it got really difficult because he's on another show right now, and that made it difficult for COVID, and does all these contracts and everything, and then our special effects guy and all this other stuff and all these people, and it's like just it's so difficult right now. So we decided, hey, this is something you could do completely 100% in virtual production and in Unreal Engine, because we kind of we partnered up with Epic Games, and so we've been working a lot of stuff. They've been teaching us a lot of stuff, training, and I've been diving directly into this stuff right now, learning a lot. And so we're gonna start episode 2 with Darth Vader versus Master Chief, and we're going to do that completely because we got XSens who sent us the motion capture suit. We've got Madness VR that sent us these really cool gloves. So these are like VR gloves. So they work directly with MV and Animate, so we can actually create like kind of a full 3D guys. So we're also partnering with Faceware for the motion capture, the facial motion capture. But this particular one, we're not going to be doing that because it's all hard armor, which makes it a lot easier for us to kind of like fake. But with the meta humans thing that's come out, wow, it's insane.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge game changer.
Yeah, that's literally going to start my house on fire because of my 1080 right now. So I got to upgrade that video card.
Yeah, using Unreal Engine, I was trying to do just the most basic renders and stuff, and then, like my computer was just like, please don't, and you just heard the fans just whirling all day, and it's like,
yeah,
took over an hour to render a 1920 by 1080 HD 10-second clip, and it took over
like I opened up MetaHumans and then my computer's like, nope, this error message came up and just said nope, and I was like, oh
yeah,
I guess
I
that's
also
it.
crashed I know I told you already, Nick, but because I was trying to export too many textures, like models with 8K textures, I had to like downscale to like 2K and 4K. I crashed Unreal like 6 times in today alone. It's
like,
just
great.
like it's just like, you ran out of memory. I've got 32 gigs, and it's like, yeah, you need more if you want to use this.
Yeah, like right now I'm streaming, and I've got streaming. I've got Unreal Engine open up, and I've got a webcam seminar going, or session going on. So it's kind of getting a little crazy, but I wish you could see my screen. If you want to see my screen, Eric, you can just go on like Twitch, and then take a look at it. That way I don't have to stream too much. But right now what I've got right now is I got this scene that I'm playing around with, because as I am working on the virtual production, or sorry, the Darth Vader versus Master Chief, I've decided to take a break because there's some pretty crazy stuff that I'm working with, like hands and rigging and all this other stuff. So I've decided to just kind of play around and do something like with the virtual camera rig, and just make something silly. So I was gonna make like a Cops version of like the TV show Cops, but in with Darth Vader and a couple stormtroopers. And Darth Vader's drinking. He's not Darth Vader. Sorry, Master Chief's drinking. He's actually drinking nude vodka. You ever had nude vodka?
Your Twitch stream up on my other monitor.
So if
I look away from the camera direction, that's why.
Yeah. So if you can see the nude vodka here, huh? So I figure we don't want to get like, I don't know, if we don't want to get sued by nude. I know that rhymes. We could just go like this. Let's just change it here. Go like that.
Do a little Photoshop that out a little bit.
There we go. So now it says nude, but that's okay.
Nude vodka.
Well, it's like eggs. Oh wow, that's like, I put the whole texture right on there. Great. Anyway, let's just do this here. Let's like do here. I'll make this work. I'll make this work for us. I'm gonna do like, what is it? Clone stamp. Yeah, baby. Wait, is this clone stamp?
Yes.
I just should know this. What's the hotkey for that?
Pretty sure it's Alt.
Yeah, I think it should be Alt. Oh, there. No, you're right. You're right. Okay, so I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna put it like there. There we go. Well, I got some of the vodka there. Whatever. Who cares? And then maybe just grab like some black. Here we go. Boop. Boop. There. Now it says nude, but it's not spelled nude. Right? So we're just gonna load that.
No real product placements.
Here you go. Load that in there. Where is it? Okay, so we'll save it over to JPEG, and then we'll just do nude vodka. Nude vodka. There you go. Boom. Looks good. Even though the vodka is a little mixed up there, that's fine. Totally fine with me. We'll save that out. Boom. And then, yeah, we'll just kind of get rid of that. Where is it? I got so many different things open here. So there's the metal, there's the soda. Then we'll just grab the texture sample and
I've been learning a lot about this the connectors tab and trying to figure out how it all works and all the
yeah.
all the different nodes.
It's so handy. Look at that.
Oh, it is. Like, it reminds me of, post-production and when I was working in, other applications, but just because everything is called different things, and instead of doing, compositing, it's dealing with shaders, which is still fairly new to me, personally.
Fairly new.
So,
check it out. Now, we are not going to get sued, and it's still nude vodka. Sweet, eh? Maybe I'll reach out to Nude Vodka and ask them if it's okay.
Sponsorship.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we'll get some of those to work on. But yeah, I played around with I like the PBR style stuff. This is a little reflecty. I have different,
To say it is a little reflective.
Yeah, so I think that's metallic on the material instance. So I'm gonna instancing material. So just we'll put that 0.2. A little less. A little more. Well, it's still got that reflective.
Yeah, maybe you're out there.
But yeah, you save that out. It's pretty cool the way it works. And then especially if I load this in here. So I'm gonna load in. Do I have animation here? Play. Oh yeah, there you go. He's doing his thing. There's my car in the background. And then oh yeah, here. Just quickly grab this. Here's my camera rig. Whoa! All right. So I got the camera rig here. That snaps right off the tripod light. So there's my shoulder mount. Boom. I just gotta turn this on. Oh yeah. There.
And the animation that you have going on in Unreal, that's from the mocap, right? That you did a while back?
Yeah, well, yeah. So generally I stream out from MVN. He's looking the wrong way, but if you look, there he is. What are you doing? Oh, he doesn't even know. But it's really cool because I can look down. Oh, what is that? Nude vodka. This is a little bit of a pain in the butt, but yeah. I'll just cheat this one out.
I think that's one of the really cool things about Unreal and virtual production is that while it does help, to, especially if you're combining live action with, CG, being, in the same location, but for a fully CG short film or something like that.
Oh yeah,
you can work with people from anywhere. That's why you're in Vancouver, I'm in Los Angeles. It's very easy to send files back and forth and set up the same rigs, and a lot of the work can be done remotely.
Yeah,
combine it all together.
It's so realistic. Like this vehicle, I only spent a few minutes on it, just because Hum 3D actually sent it to me, a free 3D model. It's pretty sick. It looks realistic. It's actually like my car, except my car's not so clean. It's so dirty. It's so dirty. The inside's real nice, but the outside is just shit. So maybe I should go in there and play and make it look just like my dirty old beast that hasn't been washed forever. I'm a lot on set, so I'm always running and driving in weird places. But there's our stormtrooper. So it's really cool because this kind of rig, this rig actually really gives you that handheld feeling. And it's really cool. This Megascan stuff is so cool. Look at that. That's
the Megascans is so much fun.
Yeah, and this is ray tracing is off. You can see the blur there is because of the aperture. It's got physical camera stuff. So it's really neat. I could walk up to that. I could literally get up and walk. Walk over there. You can see the camera moving. I don't really have that much room in my room, so so I can't literally walk up to it. But it's kind of neat, and you can kind of see Darth Vader or Master Chief doing his thing over there. Not sure what he's doing, but hey, look, it looks like we're in California. Look up at the sun. Oh yeah, do you see this? I forgot that I left a TIE fighter in the middle of there.
TIE fighter.
Where's the sun? Oh yeah, so the sun's pretty cool. If you look at it, you get that bloom and that lens flare.
This is all real time.
This is cool. Super real time. This is while I'm streaming out everything, and this is also real time. Ray tracing is not on, but some of the settings are up really good. I mean, you got everything going on.
Yeah.
No
And this
animation.
year, Unreal Engine 5
Ooh,
is coming out.
yeah. I can't wait for that. And
I
metahumans,
know.
there's so many things that, like, oops. Oh, that's realistic. Okay, so, uh, but there are so many things here that I'm excited about. The GPU thing though, like I crashed my GPU the first time I opened something like this. Um, so it's kind of neat. But yeah, the premise of this is like we're gonna be following around a couple of these stormtroopers, and they're gonna be giving him a hard time because he's chilling over by his car, and as you can see, there's a whole bunch of nudes chilling as well. So he's gonna be a little bit derogatory and a little bit not a, like I don't know. He's driven his vehicle. Clearly, he's driving and drinking and driving, and the police are gonna give him a little bit of hell, and he's gonna lash out a little bit. That's just the way Master Chief would be, I think, if he were being arrested. So it's gonna be kind of a play on like the old TV show Cops um, and Star Wars and Darth Vader, and I'm using all the assets, so it's kind of like taking a break from what I'm doing, and
Got something going on with that
I'm,
rear left wheel though.
yeah. See, this is the thing. Like I still gotta figure it out. Something to do with placements of these elements here. So this element here is, if we can, what is it? Oh yeah, there's my. See, like sometimes when these things get in there, I gotta figure out what that is, because I know that if I move the vehicle over, and it's in a thousand parts, so I really gotta go through and select everything. But if I go over here, you'll notice it's not an issue anymore. And
Yeah.
even the stormtrooper, like you can see his feet. If he gets over to here, it goes away. So I mean, there's some sort of element, and I did grab it at one point and slide it. So I got to figure out exactly what that is. But it's really neat how like, oh, this is real time. Like see Humster 3D. Thank you very much, Humster, for giving me this really cool model. I played around there a little bit. I didn't really finish doing what I was doing, but like it's cool. You can go inside. Hey, oh that's not. Textures have not loaded yet. Oops. Or maybe that's just a super low model, low poly model. I know that you can get a really high quality model off of Humster 3D's website. It's a little bit more expensive, but I really didn't care because this is like a digi double for my car. That's why I got it, so we could do some like real live action stuff. But like, dude, like this took me like 5 minutes to get all these materials all right, and it's all just playing around with different things like tint the back windows. My vehicle doesn't actually have a sunroof or tinted windows in the back. It's like the crap version,
I
but
think it's pretty insane to think that like where Unreal Engine is now and
yeah.
technology is now, and the fact that not only the new version of Unreal is going to be coming out probably, I don't know when, but it's supposed to be like maybe the mid to the end of this year, but the technology is only going to get better.
Yeah, and it's so neat because like honestly, years ago, like not even years ago, like last week, man, I was like doing renders and it was like, something like this would have taken forever. Like I dropped this in the scene and everything looks good right away. I mean, you
Oh
can
yeah,
see a little anti-aliasing around the corners, but this is at like 75%. And
yeah,
you know
and
what? Like ray tracing's off because if I do that, I'll literally have to like run and to get a fire extinguisher right now because my GPU. But if I were to get a 3090 or even a 2080, 2090, something like that, then I'd probably be pretty good. This is
yeah.
actually really good for like a couple-year-old card. Like this is a
Oh,
1080.
absolutely. I
This is
mean, in fact,
beautiful.
especially the
Look at
fact
that.
that
And this
like
is
you were
real time.
saying, I've used to use Maya. I used to use Blender. I still have Blender on my computer, and like if I loaded this model and for me to get something that looked this good,
Yeah,
it would definitely take me a while.
and it wouldn't get
And
real
if I
time.
tried to render even just one frame at this exact quality
Yeah,
with this type of lighting, that would still probably take a little bit of time. So the fact that we're able to do this in
60
real
frames per
time,
second or whatever the
yeah,
hell.
is insane.
Yeah, like even if you don't get real time rendering, you're getting like really close to real time rendering. Even if it's just twice as fast, like if your FPS sucks, like at least you got a full render out instead of like
Yeah.
2 minutes. You got 2 minutes of
And
animation in 4 minutes. Like you know what
I
I
mean,
mean?
I was watching, I've been watching behind the scenes of virtual productions and, filmmaking and stuff like that. And when it's, like a background that's blurred out or something, yeah, the studio will probably just, do that in real time because, like on The Mandalorian or something like that. Just because, it's a blurred out background. They don't need, the super high end detail. you can probably do that, output that in real time.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you're doing the Lion King or something like that, that's not all rendered in real time. That's still done at a low poly in real time, and then they save all the animation, the lighting, and then they actually render it out, because you still get better quality doing an actual render than you do in real time. But being able to have the actors walking around and move the camera around and record all the animation in real time in 3D space is what's the game changer.
Do you see Party Clown Vader?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was something I did to just separate all the different models and stuff. His feet are screwed up. What is going
It's
on
Vader
there?
before his all of his
For his
outfit was
makeover.
painted black.
Yeah, I think you're the
It's
bottom.
Captain Planet Vader.
Yeah, everyone, that guy. That's pretty cool. Here we go. Let's make him better. Let's see, helmet. Oh, I just got I called it inner cape. I called it skirt for a while, and then his cape. Ooh yeah, don't forget his cape.
And all the
Oh,
animations
let's
for
see.
all of these characters you're actually doing
Yeah,
with
yeah.
mocap, with like a motion capture suit and like gloves, so all their fingers will move like independently as well.
Yeah, like I didn't. Okay, so you can see the rigging here. This is me being lazy because the mocap suit did a perfect track of it. Like we used the manicure gloves and they look really good. But there's some sort of disconnect in between the way I'm rigging it, and I spent like 5 minutes rigging it because I just wanted to get it done. The rig and in between Unreal, so it really looks like garbage when I render it. Like when I
So
there you go.
how accurate is it when you're doing the mocap, tracking with the suit and the gloves and everything, and then the
Really
final
accurate.
animation? Because I know in past productions, when mocap was used, like in Lord of the Rings and such like that, they would do the mocap, but then they'd have to have an actual animator or animators go through and really clean it up, because
Oh yeah, yeah,
the mocap itself wasn't fully usable.
yeah.
So
You know,
how usable is the mocap? Straight brought into Unreal. How good is it versus how much cleanup does it
like
need?
honestly with MVN, like it's so good. The suit, like it's inertial, right? It doesn't use like. So the reason we're having issues with motion capture a lot of time with with the traditional way with all the cameras and stuff is because camera kind of loses sight of this, he loses sight of that. Someone steps in like motion blur stuff like that. It kind of causes some issues. Now, the inertial is pretty damn good. It's using all wireless. The wireless router is like 4 feet away at the most, and you're getting like some really nice results. And the base results themselves, like I mean, look, if you can see the foot is kind of messed up on here. That's a little bit of my fault for. I think it's something to do with the rig because the actual stuff in MVN Animate is really good. Like it looks really dope. So what it is there's a lot of disconnects in between here and there, but the MVN stuff, like when I used it the first time, I was like, wow, this is insane. And you can do it live. Like I can hook up the suit right now, and I can mess around, and I can do it live and wave at myself. And that's when I did that that twerking video that I did. That that was me doing it live. The reason I twerked for so damn long is because I could see myself, and I was like really amused by it.
And
Um,
how much space do you need? Because obviously, when I've watched behind the scenes of Avatar or Lord of the Rings, they have like a huge warehouse and stuff like that. Like I know as far as I'm aware, you don't have you know a
no,
1,000 square foot
yeah, the reason they need
hangar
all
or
that is
anything.
because they have they have the camera set up and everything that, so they do need a large space. This one's inertial, so like literally it can it can be done in my room. Honestly, the the bottleneck that I have right now is the fact that the camera setup, the camera rig that I use is kind of needs to be within these two HTC Vive trackers, and that's like what, a 10 foot whatever, 10 square feet at the most. I think you can add a couple more and get like maybe 20. But really, it's not more than that. So that's where if I go outside of that, it loses tracking, and that's it. So really, the inertial stuff is really cool. Another thing that we did before is we did we did it this for like the proof of concept for the Lego guy. We had the Lego guy walking, and as he walked, we were doing it in our basement, and we were doing it in my vehicle. So again, it was like we're using this vehicle here, the real version of it, and the character's walking and he's getting in. So he walks, he opens the door, he sits down, he closes the door, and he kind of drives around. So we're doing this skit where there's a Lego guy. He's made out of Mega Blocks, and he walks and he gets inside there. Now that's something you cannot do with the traditional style stuff, because it loses your visual, right? Because you've got these balls on there, and those white balls are tracker marks, and it's tracking this from all different angles. So the minute you get behind something like inside a vehicle, now you're losing all that tracking, and it's just gonna go, and then that's when you have a major cleanup. You probably have to redo the whole thing. Now with the inertial trackers, it's still broadcasting the signal right through it. So when I walk in and I get into the vehicle and sit down, I can take that mocap data and I can apply it to my 3D character, getting into my 3D car, and it's going to line up 100% because it was a real car. This is the same version of this. So, and I just need to animate the door opening and closing, and that's all I need to do. It's really neat because I thought about how would you do that in a traditional way, and you have to do hand animation on that one. So it's cool. I mean, the price tag on the Extends mocap suit is a little higher. I think it comes in like $20,000 just for the 20,000 US. But honestly, it depends. Like I would say, you got the other suits. I'm not gonna mention it, but they're a little cheaper. I've never used it, so I can't say anything. But I've seen some of the results, and it kind of look like $2,500. I mean, that seems like a lot of money, but for a studio, like $30,000, $20,000, if you get in a couple extra suits and stuff like that, that's actually pretty affordable, considering how much man hours and stuff you're gonna
I was
save.
just gonna say, the higher price tag, you know, a lot. Even for me, when I'm thinking about, the price of, higher end gear, so I'm like, yeah, that might be more expensive, but how much time am I gonna save down the line because of this? And how many, if it saves me a few hours in, editing or something like that on every project, then I'm happy to pay a higher price because I'm going to save so much more time, and that's really going to be worth it.
And it's huge. Like, if you think about it, like motion capture stuff that I'm doing is like, okay, so now we're looking at, okay, it's going to cost me a whole bunch of money to hire a whole bunch of people, but honestly, like, if I want to do 1 minute of animation, you know how long that takes me to do? 1 minute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not like a week, not a month, like not whatever it's going to be. You have a whole team of animators doing it, and the cleanup is not that much. Like, I mean, honestly,
when you think about, if you try to do 1 minute of animation,
mm-hmm.
you think of like you have to animate a head, a mouth, like all the parts of your fingers, your arms. You have to make sure things look right, move the right way, and wait. Like, there's so much more involved than just like,
Mm-hmm.
in Maya or Blender or something like that. As far as I know, there's no, make character walk button. You can't just choose the rig and have it do, like, you have to literally do everything by hand, and that takes so much time.
Yeah, we used to charge $1,000 per finished second of animation. I mean, that's including all the prep work and the modeling, and the rigging, and the animation, and all that other stuff, and then you rendering and all that stuff. But this, honestly, if you're thinking about how long your team is spending on animating and then going back and saying, it doesn't look real. Well, this looks real, honestly, because it is real, and you can tell, you can see, I got Master Chief moving around, turning around, and doing some stuff, and then he's looking over at Darth Vader, and he's like, "Holy crap! That's super cool." And I think stuff like that is just my end result after weeks of animation might be like that. But man, you have serious animators that know what they're doing it from scratch. I gotta tell you the truth, man. I am the one thing that I learned that I completely forgot was animation. I understand the concept, but going back frame by frame by frame, you can always tell if I've animated it because it looks like crap. Not gonna lie. So literally, I just love this because animation is the one thing that I don't do. I don't wanna do it. And
I mean, I'm the same way. I got into the field when I was at school learning film. I went into school when I was they're like, we're going to try everything. And I'm like, I'm either going to be a 3D modeler or I'm going to be an animator. and then I tried my hand at both, and I was like, I don't want to do either of these things.
I used to be so much better at animation. Like I looked at some of the stuff I used to animate. I'm like, holy crap, that's actually pretty good. I just forgot it. You don't use it, you lose it, and just I was not interested in it. Like I was interested in everything else. I did modeling for a long time. I actually used to be a better modeler than I am now. But yeah, right now I'm kind of more into the simulations and stuff like that. So and now the virtual production, like, dude, I'm really into it. So it's kind
Yeah.
of neat, and I think there's just so much coming right now because I'm working on set right now and I'm looking at all the things that we can do differently. Like, you got people are on set and then you got your cameras and you got everything all set up and then you're like, okay, well, let's fight the daylight. That's number one. Like,
Oh
let's
gosh,
not lose the
yes.
daylight. And then it starts raining, or here in Vancouver, it just starts raining out of nowhere. It started hailing today, and then it was sunny. So now you've got continuity issues, and then now you've got like all these other issues. But also, like Mandalorian, they did that. They filmed that whole thing. Um, they filmed that entire scene where they're in a desert, and there was like kind of like the sun was going down,
Hmm.
and they stopped it. They paused the sun, and then they filmed
Yep.
that for like 8 to 10 hours. And they're like, let's get all the different angles, stuff like that. Another thing, angles. Like, okay, everyone, let's turn around. Everyone, take all your stuff from that side and move all over
Yep.
here and move
Move
that there.
all
This
the
isn't
lights
shot.
and everything.
This isn't shot. That's in shot. Blah 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 blah. No, how about this? How about everyone? Okay, you and you switch places, and then let's just rotate the scene. Boom, down. We're ready to go. No meal penalty.
Yeah. And I remember also, from when I've been on set, I've definitely had a few issues where, you rent a location and then, here in Los Angeles and you're like filming even indoors and it's like, oh, great. There's a fight, there's fire trucks or, fire engines or police engine sirens going by. And it's like, well, we got to film that again because we got the sirens in the background in the audio. So we got to
Yeah.
reset and do it all again. Like you
Well,
can't control things
that's
that are outside of that.
yeah, and then you got parking. You gotta like figure out where you're gonna park all your stuff. You're gonna park your,
Yep.
your circus. Park your crew, and then
All
you're
the
gonna have to
time to
shuttle
bring all
back
the
and forth
equipment
here and
up
there.
and setting up and
The
breakdowns.
cost,
It's
yeah,
hours.
exactly. So I was thinking, man, this is amazing. It's not gonna completely get rid of everything,
No.
but it's definitely going to make a huge impact in the industry, and I don't think a lot of people understand that. I think a lot of people do understand that, and that's why you're seeing a lot of movement on the virtual production side because people are going crazy. They're like, okay, well, we need to get in on this, and you're seeing more and more stuff. Like I'm on LinkedIn all the time, and I'm seeing like more and more people, small teams or even individuals, like creating the craziest content. It's like, what is going on? Like this was created by one guy in 1 week. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this guy did it in a month, and it was like, you see that like there's like that parody of what was it? Parody of Mandalorian. And they had like little baby Yoda, and he was like this gangster guy, and he was like talking shit and stuff. It was hilarious, but it was so well done, and it was one guy, and he also had the accent suit, and he's like doing his thing. I don't know what he had for motion capture. I think he was using the live, what's it called, the iPhone.
Hmm.
So he was doing that stuff, which I think is cool with the iPhone. But I honestly threw out Apple like a few years ago. I just sick and tired of it, except for my iPad. I bought that specifically for virtual production because of the AR kit, whatever.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, like really, it's amazing what like small teams and individuals can do. And right now, during this pandemic that's continuing to go forever, um, it's just like a best way to get a small team to work on something together. Like you were in LA, I am in Vancouver, I think somewhere, and so we're working on the same projects. We can go back and forth. We can share files. We can do everything. Like you could be a DOP. Yeah, like what I can do is I can get everything ready and I can send it to DOP, and he's got a camera rig like this, and he can go in. Everything's all animated. Everything's all set up, like almost like a video game. It's all in there as one piece, and then we send the files over to the DOP. He grabs his rig and he walks around. He takes the shots after everything's done, and then if he wants changes to this or that, we can record his camera movements, and then we can go in and we can change things. I don't want that
Yep.
rock. Let's get rid of that rock. Let's move it out of the way. The final
Exactly.
shot's
And
already
then
recorded.
yeah, then you can also, I'm a colorist as well, and so you guys can you guys have a lot more computers than I do, so you can run it all out, send me the files, I can compile it, do all the color grading, and then send it back to you, like, for scoring.
Yeah, yeah. There's so many different things you could do, and it's so cool. Oh my god, his hands are so
And
messed
yeah,
up.
I agree that on-set filming isn't gonna go away anytime soon, but
Nah.
virtual production is still a fairly new technology. It's definitely growing more popular quickly, but and it's not going to take over. You're not going to have everything being fully virtual production immediately. But I also remember watching a video. It's a few years old now. I think it's like 5 years old or like 10 years old or something. And it's just VFX used in just TV shows, and how much visual effects and green screen is used in TV shows. Not even just movies, but just TV shows
Mm.
that you would never know. Um,
Yeah.
and I can easily see that instead of filming on set with green screens, going into post production, having people have to spend hours or days or even weeks keying and rotoscoping people out and all that stuff. Just put them on just film them on a soundstage and just do it in virtual production, and you don't have to really worry about any of that stuff, because you can still do mattes and alpha channels. You don't have to worry about rotoscoping, and you put them on the green screen. As long as you light it properly, Unreal Engine keys out the green. You put them in a virtual environment. And you film it.
You checking out the screen right now? Look at this. So look at how intense this scene is. It's got real physics. I can hear it blowing out the fan. Hopefully it doesn't hear it on my. But so like, look at this scene. Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
It's got real like movement. Like look how real it is.
Yeah. That's
And
like
so
that's insane.
yeah, all this stuff going on. Like these trees look real and they're moving in the wind, which is cool
Yeah.
because I've got physics on Vader's cape. We could do all sorts of cool shots. These guys are just chilling on here. I haven't applied any animation to them, but if we go over here,
I mean, that's what I'm. That's the amazing thing about especially in Unreal 5 when that comes out, because I was watching the demo of that,
yeah,
and they were having moving things around, and they showed the wireframe mode, and it looked just like a solid orange, because they were like there's over a billion
this is
individual polygons, and it's all lit and rendered in real time.
and this is the viewport, man. Like watch this. Watch.
Is viewport. This is
I'm gonna hit play.
Yeah,
call fire department if this blows up. But I just hit play. I don't know if that was a smart idea, but I hit play. Okay.
Well, if you have if it sounds like you have a jet engine next to you shortly, we'll know why.
Yeah, or no. You hear
or if you run for a fire extinguisher.
Yeah. So it's still loading. It's got a lot of process here, but like we'll see. I don't know about the OBS Studio streaming everything out, grabbing, capturing all on a 1080. I don't know if that's gonna go very well, but let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
It might crash the GPU, but with a 1080, damn, that's pretty damn good for all this stuff. And then also the thing that I really like is that you can actually see like this is the reveal shot. I don't want to reveal too much about the trailer, but I am. Oh, here we go. I can hear sound now. It's got sound.
The little render that I sent to you earlier today.
Look at that.
It was just a very simple scene. That was rendered through the render queue, so I got that up and running and working.
See, I haven't got the render queue working yet, but like honestly, I'm so new. So let's see.
I managed to get that working, so we'll have to video chat and another time and problem solve your end, and I'll walk you through what I did to make it work.
Here's my problem.
I did get it to work.
You see all this crazy stuff going on.
Yeah, that looks
pretty. Yeah, they get a depth of field. Like Vader's got a lot of work.
I mean, it still needs work, but
if I do a tracking,
also that's the viewport. Like that's not the render. That's just a viewport. That looks pretty good.
Well, let's see. I'm just thinking. Okay, let's just do a manual. I did a tracking here. Let's try tracking, and then we'll track it on MC.
For a viewport screen, like that looks pretty good.
There. That looks okay. Shit, I can't remember the name. Okay, so I was doing manual, and I think it was like 212 or something like that. There you go. I can't can't believe I remember that. But anyway, so that's that, and then I'll hit play on that one, and then you're gonna see some better like depth of field and stuff like that, and him move around is really freaking neat. But the I'm having some issues with some of the things because this is so new to me. Keep in mind this is all ray tracing off. If I turn ray tracing off, there's not a chance in hell this thing isn't gonna like crash the GPU.
Crash.
So yeah, this is why we're looking at like I'm looking into like a 3090, maybe like AMD. And I got dual Xeon 6 cores, so I got 12 physical cores, 2 physical processors, and then they got like I don't know, no sorry, 2 I don't know, whatever. Either way, I gotta upgrade that over to like AMD. I'm looking at those Threadrippers, maybe like a 16 or 24 core processor. That'll help me out, but it's the big GPU thing as well. The amount of RAM I have is pretty good, as is. There you go. So you can see he's a little out of focus. Not gonna lie, but that's okay because I just guessed it. But yeah, I wrote it down somewhere, but I lost it.
That's looking again and that's a preview. Like
that
looks pretty freaking good.
Yeah, and if I go to what is it, Nick? I call it Nick camera.
Like you said, it was that's without. Yeah, the render that I sent you was with ray tracing off as well. Because I know if I returned ray tracing on, it probably would have taken like 3 hours to render.
Yeah, this will try it. This will try it. Without all this other stuff running, it might actually work. I don't know, but with this scene, probably not. Not gonna lie to you. So like, what did I say? 220. I don't know. I'm trying to get this. Like, it's hard because he's in focus right now. But when I hit play, it jumps to the first frame of his mocap. So he doesn't. He's in a T pose right now. That would be nice if I could see him in, frame 1 rather than T pose. So like, maybe I don't know. There's probably something to do with the, like I'm probably on keyframe 0. Actually, you know what? That's true because the motion capture itself is frame 0 is a T pose. Then frame 1 is instantly the first frame. So maybe if I delete that last, I'll delete the frame and then I'll be able to see his initial. Because I've baked this animation out to like FBX and then.
So yeah, if you just go to the sequencer, and just set it to frame 1 be the first frame instead of frame 0, that should solve the problem.
Well, that sounds good because I love it because I was gonna do like he turns around and he does a rack focus, and the rack focus it focuses on Vader. But as soon as it does, you can see his hand is just like messed right up. So I decided like let's go back in there and rig him up again and rig him properly because I just did an auto rig and I didn't take his hands and like you got to go in there, you got to make sure they're all good and they all look good and everything, and then they're all snapped to the bones properly, and then when they go to Unreal, you've got to like put them in a T pose and snap them all nicely. And if it's off just a little bit, it looks a little messed up because the Manus gloves, they did a really good job doing it. So like when you're seeing it in MV and Animate, it's perfect. So I export the FBX file stuff, the animation out like that, and it's good. It's great, but it's just that there's some sort of the rig translating to, or the animation translating to the rig.
If you want the animation to be proper, you gotta make sure that the rigs and the models are proper. Proper rig, proper
and you gotta
weight painting and everything.
And you gotta T-pose them in there, and that's why I figure we're gonna bring on an animator, or a rigger, just like a CG generalist, somebody that can do rigging, do a couple other things. Just bring them on to RetroPixel. That way they can do some of the stuff. Like they can just focus on one thing. Because like I could do it if I really wanted to put a lot of time into it, but I really don't. Because I got a lot of other stuff to do, and really when I start rigging, I used to love rigging, but now I just especially when it's rigging hands and like repetitive crap.
I mean that's one of the reasons I've really been learning lighting, is because that's such a key part. Because everything is important. You gotta have the good models, good animation, good textures and stuff. But lighting is such a big part of post production. Color grading too, because you kind of can do like separate shaping light and set the focus of the attention and everything like that. So, I
There,
figured
he's
if
Dart's out. Okay, look, see, he looks up.
yeah.
He's like, oh, something's behind. It's still out of focus. And he turns around. He's like, oh shit, it's Darth Vader. Ugh, I thought they got rid of this guy. He's like, hey, I'm Darth Vader. Something Vader would say. And he's like, see, he goes back and he grabs his I'm not gonna ruin it. Forget it. I'm not
Yeah,
saying it.
don't give too much away to people. We still have to make this. We still need to make it
Yeah.
make it look good. Make it so they watch it.
Yeah, and this is the trailer. To be honest, this part's not. Oh yeah, you know what? This part might actually be in it. Who knows? But I just wanted to create a sizzle reel proof of concept thing on it. But I
we
think
can give
this might
everything
be
away.
one of our keeper shots. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing a lot of really crazy effects that I've never done before. I'm gonna be quite honest with everybody here. I think it's been about a month and a half, maybe 2 months maximum, since I first opened Unreal for the very first time in my life. So, considering
think I installed and opened. I installed Unreal for the first time ever, probably 2 weeks ago,
Mhm.
and I opened it for the first time, and that I remember messaging you, be like, "I'm opening Unreal. I have no idea what I'm doing."
yeah, see that's
I think that was a week ago.
See, that's the big thing, right? Because I've never used it before, and then using Maya, a lot of I talked to the guys from Epic. We had hour-long meetings, hours at a time, and a lot of the team came from what's it called? From Autodesk. So that's why you're seeing I'm not even realizing what I'm doing here. But if I go here and I go change where are we at? Where's our camera? Enter camera there, and so I'm gonna stop piloting. So, and all this stuff is stuff I've learned, but look, I'm hitting F and it's zooming in, boom. I'm hitting W and I'm hitting E and R
Yeah,
to
it's
make
still
them
a
bigger.
familiar.
Oh wow, he's upside down. That's cool. Look, that's what it should be. Everyone's like, what is that? It's inverted Master Chief's feet. Then
He's a
that's a
transformer.
superpower. Oh, well, that's
Yeah.
the superpower. We're gonna get it animated, and then Vader's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm gonna kick your ass," and he's gonna go, and he's gonna step on him.
He's gonna
Done.
expand. He's Ant-Man. He has Ant-Man's ability.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I mean, there's a lot going on in this scene. As you can see, I lost my mouse.
Yeah.
But when Vader does his thing, you're gonna notice his because I've set up physics specifically on his cape, and when the wind blows, it actually blows his cape around. I don't know what happened there. Oh, there you go. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna quit this scene before I break it. But yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I think that there's a lot of really exciting stuff going on here with Unreal, and I think I know it's the next big thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. What have you been working on? Really, you just yeah, you're gonna show you. Can I show them what you're working on?
I mean, if you want to pull up the render that I sent to you, it's nothing amazing. It was literally me just playing around trying to learn the lighting system for I think I watched some videos and read some documentation for 2 hours, and I'm like, hey, let me try this with mega scans.
Yeah, this makes me think of what you could do. This is where you have a character step in and
Yeah.
that. Then you see him walking around doing whatever.
See if you look in the middle there, you can see the textures floating actually above the ground, and the background is just an HDR dome that I set up.
Yeah.
This is also this is not with ray tracing turned on, because that would probably blow my computer up.
I think
My
we need
1080
to
would not be able to handle that. It would take forever.
We need to
This
give
render took
shout-outs.
about just over an hour to do.
Okay. Yeah.
And this is I rendered this with the render queue with anti-aliasing 64.
So what happens when you zoom in around in your scene? Is it fairly quick?
I mean, it's not
4K?
Not real time. Again, I think it's mostly just because the textures are so high. These are all the mega scans 8K textures.
Oh, okay,
So,
yeah. I went with all the 4K because I didn't really think it would matter, but
Yeah, I was doing. I've been playing around. I was originally playing around with the different settings and the different file types and stuff, but I was just like, I'm only gonna use 2 or 3, so may as well just give it a try. I kind of want to see the performance difference. But so those are all 8K, so it's not like it has a slight lag, but I'd say
Mm,
the lag between like moving around and actually doing it, like rotating or something, is only maybe a quarter of a second.
sweet.
Like it's still not that bad. But I found that if I import more than like 3 or 4 8K textures into Unreal, Unreal crashes on my computer.
I
And then
got
it's like you maxed out on your RAM. I'm like, well, I guess I need more RAM.
What is he doing? Oh, he's doing stuff. I got all these like baked in animations for everybody. What is he doing? Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, I still see my scene. Look, there's just a whole bunch of characters just walking around, just doing random stuff. There's a beer can or a nude can floating in the sky. But yeah, it's this is my test scene. Where'd Vader go?
Yeah, I'm
There
definitely
goes
naming
hand.
a bunch of my scenes like environment test, test 1, test
Mine's
3, test 8K. I'm just like, I'm not gonna be like saving any of these really. I'm just testing things out and trying things out,
yeah. This
learning the
is.
program and how and all the settings
I've
and
got
lots of troubleshooting.
got a lot of work to do on this texture. Get the subsurface. I want subsurface scattering for Hulk.
Yes, gotta get that.
Hulk looks.
Gotta
He's got to
give
have that glow.
IL got need to call up ILM and be like, hey, how'd you get Hulk to look so good?
You know what's sad? I worked on it. So I know all the character. I know all the people that did all the stuff. Like we worked on all the Avengers and stuff. So I know a lot of the people that worked on it, and I could ask them. But they didn't do it on Unreal. Like it's easier for
Yeah,
me anyway,
definitely. Yeah, you can't use the
using
same thing,
V-Ray.
but
Yeah, I could use V-Ray and I could do some subsurface scattering and stuff like that. I kind of want to get some
I'm
textures. Like I've got some animations for him
yeah.
that actually work in there. But
And I'm not, I you can't expect Unreal to give you, the exact same results as you would get with like, V-Ray or Arnold or something like that. But I definitely think in another, as far as I know, you can't get those kinds of results. But
oh yeah, I've seen some pretty damn good stuff
I've
though.
seen some stuff that looks pretty darn good, and I wouldn't be surprised if in another five, 5 years, maybe 10 years at the max,
Hmm.
you're able to get that level of detail and stuff more in real time.
Wow, there's so much light coming from that that Vader's lightsaber that it's actually reflecting on the second Vader that I've got. I've got
So
two Vaders,
there's 2 Vaders. Wow,
two
yeah, that's
Vaders,
really
two
that's
Vaders,
really
one cup.
reflective.
Sorry, but yeah, it's like it's so cool what you could do. Like I'll just open like
And I
I'm
mean
just
that's another reason I'm really trying to dive into the lighting side is because to get photorealistic, something that really looks photoreal, a big part of that, again, you have to have proper animation and proper textures and materials and shadows and stuff, but lighting is such a huge part of getting something to really look photoreal.
you wanna know what's funny? I spelt my name wrong. I don't know who did it.
I'd expect nothing less.
Oh, so here, like, if you're seeing this stuff, here's MVN Animate or XN's MVN Animate Pro. So it comes with the X. Wow, you have to pay for it separately, but it comes with the XN suit. So here we've got. That's supposed to be Master Chief, I think. But anyway, I've got it over. Network streamers streaming out something. So I go in directly into Unreal, and I can go into Live Link. I can add an XN source. And then here I've got animation from Nikolai. And then once I do that, I can actually go into, what is it, MVN? So I have two assets. One's got baked in animation from the FBX, and one of them is directly plugged into MVN. So he can, any animation I throw through, it's live. So if I like, this is all saved animation from MVN, but I just have it on a loop right now, and it's playing, and it's just doing but you can see in anime or MVN, his hands are perfect, right?
Yeah.
So you know, so this is like it's really cool because it'll actually work directly with the mocap, the sorry Manus gloves. So the Manus gloves, like they're directly in there at the same time, real time. So I can do this real time, and you can see me doing this right now. But because I'm not wearing a latex suit or a lycra suit,
That'd be a sight to see.
yeah, it would be. I don't want to stream doing that. But so yeah, so we got this thing here plugged in. I've saved this animation so you can kind of play it right now. So that plugs directly in there, and when I hit play, you should have some Vader action. So we got one baked animation here, and then this is the live. Well, not really live, but this is the
He's using
live.
the force to float.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? His hands look. Oh, what the hell? There's something wrong there because like his hands look way better here. Oh, except for that
Yeah,
thumb.
the hands look
Those
a lot
thumbs are
better.
messed up, but the thumbs are the hardest to get in there. But his hands are actually good. If you go here, his arms and hands are just mangled. Look like he just got run over by a sky train.
Yeah.
But like this one here, this is directly from MVN. There's something going on in between. Like I know why the thumbs are screwed up. And the thumbs are screwed up because I did not spend any time at all in Unreal aligning the thumbs. You know what? I probably ended up spending more time aligning the thumbs in this version of the animation blueprint than I did on that one. Because you'll see my quality of stuff if I have to do it more than one time, like it just gets worse. So so that's it. Like you gotta it's something special with the thumb. Like you gotta get the thumbs like lined up and rotated 45 degrees and stuff. And if you don't do that right,
Break.
it's just you know what? It doesn't look weird. It looks just like when he bends them, they're bent wrong. So I haven't rotated it. I've rotated it. Yeah, no. If I rotated it 45 degrees, that would be perfect. So that's oh man. You know what? I should just you know what? Maybe it isn't the rig. It's definitely not the rig. It's just my attention to detail in Unreal. Because
That's
you can
why
go
it'd
in
be
and
good to have someone who actually is specializes more in the rigging, so that you don't have to worry
Yeah.
about all those little things. You
that's
can
what I want to
focus
do is
really
like have him
on
do
the
that.
mocap side.
This guy that I have, he wants to learn, and he's gonna be probably rigging in Maya and then importing it into Unreal Engine, and then we'll learn it because Unreal is giving us some of our own personal training, so we're kind of doing like a very condensed version of the what is it called? The Unreal Fellowship, which I really want to get on that one, but
As I say, I'm really looking forward to that.
yeah.
'Cause
So if you're yeah,
I
what
really
we'll
want to
do
learn like from the people who pretty much made it. Like, yes,
yeah.
teach me everything.
They're like, we're gonna take a very intensive program that takes an entire month where you're not gonna sleep during this month, and we're gonna condense that into 5 days, and we're gonna give it to you guys. It's like, so
It's like
yeah,
we got to make sure to. We're probably gonna get so much information.
oh yeah,
We'll probably need to be like, we need to have that recorded so that we can.
yeah, definitely.
we
Well,
can
my
watch it
my eyes
over
are
and
gonna bleed.
over and over again. Be like, sorry, I wrote down the 3 sentences. You're already on like the next chapter.
We're most likely gonna be skipping things like like theory and stuff like that, stuff that we already know. But also we're gonna be skipping probably because as part of the Unreal Fellowship, everybody creates their own like little project and little film stuff like that. So they're probably gonna skip over that. That probably takes 2 or 3 weeks there.
Yeah.
So we've already kind of done that. We're gonna do that when we're done, but we're gonna probably get the meat and bones of it, or sorry, just the bones of it, and we're gonna skip the meat, and that's probably what's gonna happen. So that'll be cool because I'd like to learn a lot more about this. But I love the fact that diving deep into it and having like something that you have to accomplish. Like, okay, we need to create this, this trailer. We need to create this trailer, and I got like 2 weeks to do it, or maybe 3 weeks. No, it's gonna be 3 weeks. But I gotta do it. I gotta do it by myself because that's kind of what I said. I was like, okay, the whole team's gonna be working on the final one, but I want to actually get in there and learn everything I can. And man, I've stumbled so much. I've created things, but you know what? I've learned so much about what happens. Like when I go in there and I say, you watch a tutorial on somebody doing like, okay, this is how you do this. You set the specular level to 1.23 and you do that and you do that. But well, I don't know how to do that. And I don't have anybody telling me to do that stuff. So guess what I'm doing?
Yeah.
I'm setting it to 1. I'm setting it to 2. Oh, that's way too much. I
Yeah,
set it to
I
1.5. A little bit too much, and now I'm messing around. Now I know what those values do, because if
yeah,
I
that
just
I was
type it
saying
in,
that's one of the things that I really wish, because
oh,
I've been
this is
watching a
really
bunch of
messed up.
videos on YouTube as well, and that's one of the things that, and I understand why they don't, because they have, they only have so much time. Otherwise, the videos, would be 5 hours long, which I'd still
Hmm.
probably watch. But like, cool, like, okay, you change this value, you change this to this, but why did you use that value? Like, how does changing this, this dial or this percentage actually work? Like, kind of, I don't need, the code. I don't need to know the coding, but like you said, specular, we're gonna set this to 3. Well, why 3? Why not 5? Is 5 too high? Like, how does the reflection work in Unreal Engine? I
Yeah,
kind of want to know a
that's the
little bit
thing,
more of
right?
that theory.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm like sitting there like playing around with stuff that I don't know, and I'm just playing around back and forth to see if I can find a happy medium. But in that finding the happy medium, you figure out what works and what doesn't work, and what might apply to something that you're doing later. You don't want it so shiny now, but maybe you want it shiny later. Like this here, like also I'm working in 2 different versions. Damn it, it's so different. Like 4.25 and 4.26 are so different that like a simple I ripped this game, like I ripped this model from the game, right? So this is from Battlefront 2. And they've got this very weird, like if you're looking here right now and seeing this crazy network of the texture network or the material network, you're going to see here that all these things are coming from the texture sample is coming from the RGB is going to the base color. The alpha is going into the specular. The alpha is also going into an invert alpha, which the invert alpha alpha is going from there to the roughness, because that's inverting that, because it's using the same bloody map to do the roughness and the spec, but it has to be opposite. So I use this invert alpha thing. Now 4.26 doesn't have an invert alpha, so you're doing a add and a minus one, blah 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 blah. So you're using different nodes. So now I've learned how to do invert alpha on 4.25, which is never going to come into play. And then 4.26 as well. They've got a different setup. And then like this one here, this texture sample here, it's called AO, what is it called? Normal map. So it's NM. So that plugs into the blue channel plugs into metallic, and the R and the G plug into A and B, and then in a lerp, which is kind of like separating things. And that lerp plugs into the normal map. But I found if I put it in the normal map, everything looks like ass in this. So
Yeah, I've
I
definitely
disconnected
also
it.
run into that issue watching some videos on YouTube and some trainings and stuff, and they're just like, "Oh, and then just add this node," and I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't have that node. That doesn't
yeah,
exist in my. I'm like, I
exactly.
guess they're using like a slightly older version. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
like
well, I can't do that. I have no idea how to do that because I don't have those options.
yeah, because like if I add this, it looks like shit. Like honestly, I'm looking
Yeah,
at like Darth Vader's helmet. Like what the hell? The
yeah,
normal
that does
map
not look.
fucked it
That
up.
does
So I
not
just
look
go here and
good.
I just like break that link. Done. And then save it, apply
Yeah,
it. I
that
found
does
that where.
not look good at all.
Thanks. I worked hard on this. Okay. So anyway, here, yeah, I go
Do
back.
better.
It looks a lot more reflective because this scene is like super reflective. Like it's like see, it's so saturated. So this here shows you a better one. When I throw it in the other scene, it looks really good. This one looks like garbage. But anyway, so I just completely got rid of that. But like even the texture sample, it's got this AOSL, which is like ambient occlusion, blah blah blah. I don't know. It's got some other layers in it. So the red goes into A, the B goes into like a B, and the green I think was something else that I also disconnected because it didn't look right. And then those go into alert. So each one of the texture files that you have has multiple layers, and like the red, green, and blue channel has different stuff in it. So it's the reason they did that is because it's a video game and they wanted to pack as much as into one file as they possibly could to
Yeah.
keep the files low. Also, the geo is all frickin' stuck together and not attached. Like, oh, it's so horrible. So I had to detach all the armor, and then I had to rig all the soft parts, and I had to rig all the hard parts, and then I bring it in from Maya to Unreal Engine. You can't just parent things. So I had to. These are soft body. I had to bind skin, soft skin, and then I had to go through each one of those things, like the hard armor parts, and I had to do flood fill. Like the helmet is 100% affected by the head, and 0% from anything else. That way, it
Oh,
retains its hardness.
gotcha.
So that was the way I would do it. Normally, I would just like parent all the hard armor geo to the bones, and then that way they kind of like move like that. But when you do that, they just don't come into Unreal. So I'll probably eventually learn how to like do everything in Unreal, minus the modeling. But like rigging, I guess rigging is pretty. It's pretty good for rigging. But I've been using Maya since 2003, 2004. So kind of used to it. So,
Yeah.
but honestly,
mean,
I gotta say a lot of the stuff, like I always hit Z instead of Control Z. That causes some problems, but that's like mostly like there's a lot to learn, but there's a lot that's very familiar with a lot of stuff like that too.
yeah. I mean, that's just. I mean, I feel like that's kind of how it is with almost any program. I mean, I remember, I doing visual effects. I used Nuke as like the primary program, and I remember the first time I opened that when I was in college. I opened it, I was like, I don't know what any of this does. How do you work this? It was like, the big scary monster I had to learn, and then after using it and just trial and error, it became second nature. Now it's like, oh yeah, this makes sense. This is how this works, and that's what that's how I'm dealing with Unreal. Like I'm opening it and I'm just like, how do you do this? How do you do that? And, like I'm slowly becoming more familiar with it, but like just bringing in, adding the mannequin uh into Unreal, just like for me, I wanted to build a scene, but I'm like, I need something, a reference to scale. Like, how big is this? And I'm like, how do you do this? Like, I had to go online and look it up because I had no clue how to add a mannequin to my Unreal Engine scene.
Yeah, that's the best part because it's all rigged in Unreal for you. So the best way to learn
Yeah.
it is to play around with that mannequin. I did some really cool, fun stuff like plugging it directly into MVN, and I got the fingers and the hands like perfect on that one because it was just like so much easier. So that's what makes me believe that the issues that we're running into are based on the actual model itself, in the rigging in Maya before it's exported to FBX.
Yeah, the current issue, if
Look at that.
anybody who ends up watching this knows the solution, please comment in the YouTube or on Facebook or wherever you happen to see this and tag me. I'm still trying to figure out how to fix the tiling issue when I use a material from Megascans. Like I have they have a lot of really great like shaders and materials, and when I apply that, I know it has to do with like the UV coordinates, but when I try to change those, it just stretches or like shrinks it, and I'm like, no, like I'm trying to like get it to like the next one, like maybe have it half be and or slightly scale up and rotate, and I'm pretty sure it's about like combining multiple shaders together and materials to try to like fix that, but it's definitely a bit difficult. I've been watching a bunch of videos, but again, the people who in those videos are like, oh, and then just bring this node in and like hook this up here, and I'm like, yeah, I don't have that node.
Yeah, it's tough because you really have to take that stuff and you gotta plug it into a mask. So there's the mask. I don't know if you use World Engine much, but in World Engine you can export. You don't export actual geo. You export masks based on what you're playing around with, right? So
Yeah.
those masks will give you, you can use those masks to create something in the landscape editor, and then from there, what you can do is you can use that same mask. It's like a height map
Mm-hmm.
mask, and you can use that one specifically to break up your texture. So rather than like tiling it, you're tiling it based on that height map.
Yeah,
So
I was trying that, but the problem I was having was that, and that's what in some of the videos I was watching, that's what they were showing to do, like, oh, bring this in and then tile it off. And when I tried to plug that into the shader, it kept saying like error, float, integer problem, and like it wouldn't let me like hook things up. And I'm just like, well, I don't know why it's not letting me, so I've been trying to research that.
sounds like a float integer problem to me.
Yeah, that's pretty much the problem, but I don't know how to fix that.
Look at how good this is. I can see through
So
the float of
that's
that.
what I've been trying to figure out is like how to fix a float integer problem. And also it's weird because when you open up the material shader in Unreal Engine from Megascans, you don't have the node tree view. You don't have those nodes. That's not an option. The only way to get that is to go into like the parent shader, which looks nothing like the material shader that you're using, and that's where I'm getting the error. So it's not a straightforward like, oh, just add this and hit and you're done. Like, at least for me, like I've been using Unreal for like a week and a half, so
I feel like I'm in a
I'm
Dodge
still
commercial right now.
pretty much in the I don't know what I'm doing phase.
I feel like I'm
But
in a
I'm
Dodge
figuring it out
commercial.
little by little.
It totally is. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that, you know what? In a couple weeks, you're gonna be like, I can't believe I didn't know that.
Yeah, already,
So,
dude. There's things I'm like, oh yeah, I know how to I know how to fix this. I know how to fix that. Like, yeah, I know how to use the render queue. So like, I'll happily, walk you through what I did to make that work. Like
yeah, it's
little
weird.
little things, and you have the little victories, and you feel so accomplished. You're like, yes, I figured this out finally, and then you never forget it because it
Yeah,
takes you 3 weeks
or you
to figure
forget it, or
out.
you're like me and you forget it every week, and it's like, oh, what the hell? This is so cool.
And
Like,
that's why then you write it down.
I have to admit, man, this is nuts. Like, just like I just dropped this model in. I feel like I should be playing a video game. Like I am. Like I'm just walking around like do 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 do. Hey, I'm.
And that's the cool thing about is I've seen other people little videos behind the scenes of not much because virtual production is still very much in its infancy, but
Mm-hmm.
I've
Can't go
seen
inside
behind
though.
the scenes of people who doing car commercials of driving a car through the tunnel, like they have the actual car on set
And you
and
can't.
they have someone in the car, pretending, the car's, running or, whatnot, or they put on like a treadmill or something, or it's just sitting there and they have the screens behind and the screens are projecting the tunnel because that's not the focus. So it's, in the background, it's kind of blurred and, whatnot, but it projects the light from the virtual production onto the car. So all the lighting is actually, like in real time, super accurate, and they're filming a nighttime car commercial inside
Yeah, I've done
with
that on
Unreal. And
different
I'm like,
shows too,
that's
but
that's that's one of the things I think that Unreal Engine and virtual production, not only for TV shows but really for like not just car commercials but commercials in general. I was watching another kind of behind the scenes of someone. They did a I don't remember what the product was. I think it was some kind of like beer commercial or something. And it was like these people walking through, like a wheat field and like watching the sunset. And it was virtual production. Like they actually, made a little on set with, some weeds for the actors to actually like walk through and interact with. But when they stopped and, did like a little toast with their drinks and, it was, a wide shot of them standing in a wheat field looking out over a sunset, like they actually were in a real wheat field, like on set, but the entire, the wheat field in front of them, the sunset, like them looking out, it was all from a virtual production, from an LED wall. And it's like, yeah, you could get that perfect lighting every single time. You don't have to wait for clouds. You don't have to wait for weather. Go to the location scouting. You can just build whatever you want and get
mm.
it perfect every time.
Yeah, see, it's amazing what you can do, and it's like I'm looking forward to some of this stuff. Hopefully, I won't be on set anymore. Like I'm just gonna be mostly working on what we're working on now, like our own stuff. But if I do end up being on set and like Nancy Drew and other shows that I'm on right now, um, then at least I'll be in like a more of a visual effects type of role because it's neat. I mean, playback's using that stuff. I mean, I think we're gonna probably be about a year or so before everyone's using it. But man, a year or so, like a couple of years, like earlier this year, I figured it'd be 3 to 5 years. I think it jumped to like maybe 1 to 2 years, but I think within the next year, and maybe I'll like revise that a little bit later down the road. But it seems like this is turning out uh, a lot. I mean, it's kicking in really fast, right? Like
Yeah.
it's insane how fast this thing is taking off, and it's
But
just
I mean, there
amazing.
definitely is a learning curve. So getting in now, what we're doing, and it's Unreal Engine is free, but setting up a virtual camera, the equipment needed, the time it takes to like figure it all out, like it definitely takes time. So
Yeah,
it's not like you can just pick up a camera and go outside and film, like a spec ad for something and be like, oh, toss it on YouTube. Like it does. There is a learning curve. Like it's not something that anybody can just pick up and be fully up and running in a couple hours.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Like, I mean, we're using Maya for so many years, and it's like,
Yeah.
kind of gives you that advantage, which I think is awesome. But, it's definitely a learning curve for sure. So, I wonder if I could just do, oh, I want the Chrome car.
But
Watch this.
we are learning and we're getting there. So
Ta-da. Wait, that's not what I meant. This is metallic, plugged into metallic, and the default is 1. Doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand.
but yeah,
Look at how shiny that car is.
RetroPixel Digital will be known soon.
Yeah, hopefully. If I do my job right. What is this? Oh, 'cause this is backwards.
Well, we've got a good team that we're building, so
Yeah, I'm okay. I mean, that Nick character is a little shady, but I don't know. The rest seem pretty. Okay.
he's a little difficult to deal with.
I'd say. Ask any of his exes. Just joking. Yeah. So that. Oh, see, I don't know. I'm messing around with these settings here. That looks better.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to spend like an hour. I'm not exactly successful at it now yet, but I'm trying to get to a point where I'm spending like an hour or two every day, like learning. Not building an entire scene and rendering because that takes a lot of time, even for people who know what they're doing. I watched a bunch of videos and someone like made an environment like, yeah, this took me a day, and I'm like, that would take me a month at the rate with my knowledge. But just little accomplishments, little things. Just learn how one thing works each day. Open up Unreal and just learn how reflective surfaces work with one material. Learn that.
I find like playing around with a lot of the settings just really helps.
Yeah, and I'm definitely starting. I'm doing what I probably should have done already, instead of like playing with mega scans and lighting, is just like make a very simple scene. Like like you had like a soda can, on like the ground on a road or something like that. Like start and just make that look as good as humanly possible. Like learn that way instead of trying to render 30 materials that are 8K textures.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Render something simple. Render a baseball or something, like on a shelf. Make something. Download a free scene and then just light that. Just spend an hour a day for 3 weeks to just try to light that as best you can.
Yeah, see, I don't have that much time on my hands.
Oh, that's why I said like maybe spend an hour each day working on it, and maybe it'll look good in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's a good.
And then the next time you try to do it in like 2 weeks, and then the next time you do it in 1 week, and then you try to cut that time in half until you can get a scene looking really good in a couple hours.
That's like my trailer. It's like, get it done, no, hurry up.
Yeah, and you got me messaging you like, hey, how's everything going? Haven't heard anything in like a week.
Yeah, I'm like, shut
anything
up.
New to show me? Like, I want to see it. Looks cool.
I'm like, shut up, let me alone. I'm doing it, okay. But yeah, it looks pretty good. I'd have to say that this scene is so brightly lit and shitty that's ruining everything, but actually still, I can still make things look really good. These models are dope, man. You ever go to Hum3D? Humster 3D. It's hum3d.com. It's actually pretty cool. They got some really neat stuff like tanks, all these like wish list things that I want. It's really neat. Like if you ever need a vehicle, man, I would recommend. I'm gonna give them a shout out on this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they're dope. Anyway, I should probably cut this short now. We've been streaming for like 8 years now, and I just want to see. I think everyone's gotten what they're gonna get out of this.
Yeah, probably. We've talked about all the updates that we've got, and those
we don't want to give
watching
too much away.
Watch this the replay.
Yeah, and
if they see a lot of the stuff that we're working on and what we've got coming in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and if I spend any more time on here, I'm gonna be telling them everything that we're working on.
Yeah,
like,
stop
we're gonna trailer for this.
Stop giving everything away. We need.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're not gonna watch it. Go like, oh, well, I already know all that happens.
Well,
I don't need to watch it.
You know the trailer that we're working on that's coming up after this.
Yes, yes.
And
I
the
do.
other trailer that I may not have told you about that as well. We're doing a whole bunch of trailers while we're also
It's
working
like
on
you
some of the stuff.
keeping
Blah, blah, blah.
secrets from me already.
Well, I don't know. I just forgot to tell you, but I'm not going to say it now
You
because it's a
probably did.
super
You can,
secret.
yeah, you can tell me another time when we're not streaming to the world.
I don't want someone to fire me from this job. I just don't want to. You know.
Yeah, we can talk privately about the some of these secret projects we're working on.
Nikolai, WikiLeaks, and Romick. That's what you're gonna call me. But yeah, it sounds great. So I just like to say thank you for everybody that has tuned in and listened to us talk, probably for the first 5 minutes, and then tuned out because they just can't handle my voice. But whatever.
And we just
if you're still here
for an
to
hour
the end,
and a half.
yeah, there's a lot of new stuff going on. There's a lot of cool stuff that we're working on, and if anybody has any questions or anything like that, or like, just tell us what they think about this. If it was too long, if you wanted us to talk about anything else, there's a lot of topics, there's a lot of content with this stuff, and we do have direct contact with Epic Games and a couple other big huge companies that are leaders in this industry right now. So if anybody has any questions, we can get it directly from the horse's mouth here. So without any further ado, we're going to end this thing, and hopefully everybody's liked what we're saying. So thank you so much, Eric, for coming online and chatting with me.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have more of these in the future, and I promise for all those listening and watching, we will get better at this podcast.
I'm funnier. We were funnier. Remember we did that one thing? We were just hilarious.
We were making so many more jokes the last time when we weren't recording, and also as we put out more content, we'll have more things to say because we'll be able to talk about like what we did and the problems we found and how we solved them and what we learned, and we'll have more interesting content to talk about as we get projects done and out there.
And I used up all my jokes.
That's true. You used up all the good jokes the last time we chatted when we weren't recording.
That's true. So hopefully I'll use up all my jokes this week, and then we'll have a non-fun one.
We're gonna try to do this like once every 2 weeks or like something like that. I don't think we have an exact schedule yet, but we'll find our groove, and we'll kind of get more of like, I guess, a regular schedule as we go along.
It's true, and I'll get better quality in my camera. I've got a really good one right here, so I got to figure out what you're doing with yours, and I'm gonna hook this guy up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'll help you. I'll help you. Yeah, I'm using one of my DSLRs as my camera. I got a little studio light set up here. I got my microphone.
This $100 webcam is just, I look like a potato.
Dude, that's why I stopped using my webcam, so it looked like crap. So I'm like, use my DSLR. It looks better. Now
I can look like crap in HD.
I mean, I already do, so.
I'll be at HD. Maybe I don't have to even do my face. Look, it's like I have a. You know what? It looks like I have some sort of like makeup thing on, like it's fuzzy. I think I do have something. There's some weird like setting. Someone's used my camera and like wanted to. Wait. No, I got to figure this out here. Let's see. Where's the options?
This is great content.
I guarantee you. It looks like I'm wearing makeup. It's like clearing my face, but I don't have anything on my face.
I think it's because you got a hat on, so the light under your face is like a lot darker. And
no, you know what it is?
Brighten it up.
There's like a little feature I think that makes you look like if I close my eyes, it like covers them up. Is that weird? It totally is. There's a
video.
I remind myself of that guy that, remember, he had the like puppy dog thing. I was like, I swear I'm not a cat, or whatever it was. That's me.
There was some U.S. senator or something. Was
like, a lawyer.
Like, I promise I'm not a cat. It's like, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, no. I bet you it was actually a cat. That's why they lost. But yeah, okay. Without it, I'll figure that makeup. I swear to God, I've got a filter on, because if I close my eyes, they're like covered up too. See, look at that.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, we're done. Okay, thank you everyone for tuning in, and swear to God, next time I'm gonna be funnier.
We'll see everybody next time for more cookies for breakfast. With,
you betcha.
RetroPixel Digital.
You bet. All right, have a good one, buddy.
All right, see you later, man.